So guess what? The actual application for PPP forgiveness is out. Hi, my name is Chris Passmore and I'm with CPA Corner, and we're going to talk about today one of the key aspects of the PPP forgiveness application in the current form it is today. So on that note, I just want to have one small qualification. This forgiveness application might change. During the application process for PPP loans, the application form was revised, and it is possible that the forgiveness application may change too, and I'll keep everyone updated as information is released and if this does change. So the application, forgiveness application, let's dive into this. I'm going to break this up into 3 different videos talking about payroll, non-payroll costs, and then the reduction in salary and headcount that may impact your forgiveness amount. So this video is going to focus on payroll, the eligible costs, the pay period, and an interesting new clause that will allow you to choose an alternate period for payroll that may line up better with your payroll schedule. So let's dive in and let's take an actual look at the application itself. Let me pull it up. So let's take a look at the current loan forgiveness application issued by the SBA. You can see here, this is the loan forgiveness application instructions issued by the SBA. So let's take a look at the terms specifically related to payroll. So in this form, you'll see that the covered period for payroll starts on the first day in which the PPP loan disbursement was made. That is the date that the money was deposited at your account and continues for 8 weeks or 56 days after that point. Something new that is on this application that's important is this concept of the alternative payroll covered period. This is an alternate period to the 8 weeks starting from when you receive your PPP loan. So here it states that borrowers with a biweekly payroll or more frequent may elect to actually begin their 8-week period on a different date than when the PPP loan was dispersed. As an example, let's say that you received your PPP loan on a Wednesday, but your next payroll period starts on Friday. To not have a cutoff period where your PPP loan is part in one pay period and part in another pay period, they're allowing you to start your 8-week forgiveness window at that following pay period date. So in this example, your 8-week window for payroll alone would start on that Friday, the subsequent pay period that started after you received your loan disbursement date. Now talking about the forgiveness, we're moving on to the forgiveness calculation. What it states here in line 1 in the forgiveness amount calculation section is that eligible payroll costs for forgiveness are incurred or paid during the covered period or that alternate period that we just discussed. This is an important point right now because it says incurred or paid. In previous information released by the SBA, it was stated incurred and paid. So at this time, it implies that if you pay a payroll and it included a period that may be outside of the 8-week window, maybe it was before the date in which you received your PPP loan disbursement, that would still be eligible for forgiveness. It is expected that more information will come out on this, and whether this might change is unknown at this time. But currently as written, it does say that if the payroll was paid or incurred during the 8-week window, you can apply for forgiveness. So to talk more about the costs eligible for forgiveness, let's look at page 2 of the application and discuss the eligible payroll costs noted here. So again, this is further on the point that I was just mentioning. Eligible payroll costs include payroll costs paid and payroll costs incurred during the 8-week period, whether that's the 8 weeks from the date of the disbursement or the alternative payroll that we discussed previously. So what's the definition of paid? When is payroll cost paid? Well, it states here that payroll costs are paid on the date the paychecks are distributed or when the money was pulled from your account. Oftentimes we use direct deposit, and so ADP or Paychex or another third-party payroll processor will pull that money from your company's bank account, and that would still be counted as paid. And what's the definition of incurred according to the SBA? Well, incurred is the date in which the employee's pay was earned. So that would mean if you were paying someone for 8 hours on a Friday, it's deemed incurred for that Friday. And so I wanted to focus on this one last point as it is very important. There is an exception in the forgiveness application that payroll costs incurred during the final period during your 8-week window may not in fact be scheduled for payment during that 8-week window. Let's imagine a company that pays on the 15th and the last day of the month. It's highly unlikely that your 8-week window falls perfectly on either the 15th or the final day of the month. The application states here that you can still count that payroll for forgiveness as long as it's paid on the originally planned payroll date. So if your 8-week window ends on the 20th of the month, you do not have to pay that on the 20th of the month, as long as you pay that on the last day of the month under your existing payroll schedule. So that is a significant relief in my eyes, because I had planned the advised clients to do a stub payroll period to make sure it gets into that 8-week window. And this removes the need for that, and I think is a significant relief for small and medium-sized businesses. So that's the key terms for payroll, the eligible costs, and the forgiveness that are currently in the PPP forgiveness application. I hope you found that useful. Please look for my future videos that will talk about non-payroll costs and the impact of any payroll or headcount reductions. If you have any questions or want further information about this, please leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. And I look forward to talking with you again in my next video. Thank you.